Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Last Minute A. This is a channel where if you're having struggles with your life sciences, you've been studying for such a long time, you've read through the textbooks, you read through your notes, your long notes, and now you just want to, just passively learn or just make sure you remember you've gone through everything. This is the channel for you. Or maybe you're about to start a new section in life science, and when you were reading just the synopsis of what's going on in that section, you are a bit scared and you just want something that's gonna make you just get an idea what's happening and make you calm. This is the channel for you. So let's get started to today's work. So today we are going to be looking at the male reproduction system. We are going to be looking at the key features of the male reproduction. We'll be looking at spermatogenesis, which is the development of sperm, key features of the sperm, like the structures of the sperm, and the hormone and specialized cells that help or play a role in male reproduction. So let's get into it. So we are going to be looking at the key features of the male reproduction first, basically all the parts. And please make sure to take your time, pause, look at the pictures, look at the structures that I'm talking about. And this is very important to know the structures for labeling and understanding. And the way that I'm going to go through each of the structures is basically in order of where the sperm's life and journey starts up until when it reaches the part where it will be excreted out of the penis and into the female reproduction system. Okay? So first and foremost, everything starts in the testes. So the testes or the testicles, their main function is to produce sperm and the hormone testosterone. Sperm, as we know, is very important in fertilization. That's how you were on this earth. And then testosterone is also responsible of making sure that the sperm is healthy for it to be made and for it to be healthy. And then a man is to go into his mature features, for example, facial hair, deep voice, broad shoulders. That's all testosterone's job. So the testicles are just responsible for those two things: production of sperm and testosterone. And then we have the scrotum. The scrotum is I want to say exoskin. It's not exoskin, but it looks, and when you touch it, it's as if it is exoskin. It's pouchy. It's a pouch of skin that holds and protects the testes. And it also regulates the temperature for sperm production. So if you notice, if you're a male and if you touch your body, like if you touch your thighs or your entire body, your body is warm. But once you touch your scrotum is slightly colder than your body temperature, and that is intentional. That temperature is perfect for sperm production. That temperature, that area of your sperm is supposed to be slightly cold like that, which makes it a good temperature for your sperm to be produced and to grow. That's why it's also advised for male to wear underwear that is, comfortable and airy, so that they can be able to, not affect the production of the sperm. So yeah. And then, so that's just testicles, and then the scrotum that is covering the testicles. Now we take it one step forward. So we have the epididymis. The epididymis is long coiled tube that is behind each testis, and that is where your sperm matures and is stored. So that's like daycare or school for your sperm. So your sperm is made in the testes. While it's still immature, it goes out to your epididymis. It stays there. It grows there. It learns what it needs to do. It gets fed. It's nourished, and it's stored there, waiting for it to be released out into the world. So that is where that happens, and that is in the epididymis. So the epididymis is essential because that is where the maturation of the sperm occurs, and that's where the sperm gains its mobility, its ability to swim, and also that is where it's stored and wait for ejaculation to occur. So let's say now ejaculation is occurring, a male is actively engaging in sexual activity or sexual intercourse, then the sperm now gets out of the epididymis and it's gonna use the vas deferens. Please look at the diagram, you'll see all of these things are in order. It will use the vas deferens to travel out of the epididymis to make its way to the urethra. So that is the main function of the vas deferens, is to serve as a pathway for the sperm to swim out of the male reproduction tract as it's trying to go into, it's making its way to the female reproduction tract. And as it's going, it's going to pass by the seminal vesicles. The seminal vesicles are going to be waiting right there. When it passes through the seminal vesicles, or that area that has the seminal vesicles, it will get some fluids, and that fluid is called seminal fluid, which is a sugar-rich fluid. And that fluid is important because it provides energy for the sperm to keep on going, to keep moving. As another thing, I think when sperm is not moving, it dies. So that's another thing as well. And sperm dies pretty quickly. So it has to be moving very fast, and it has not stop, so that it gets to where it needs to be before it dries out or before it dies. So the seminal fluid, it receives its seminal fluid by the seminal vesicles. It will produce this fluid, gives the sperm energy, and it makes up most of the sperm of semen. So semen is just the liquid that the male produces when he ejaculates. That consists of, it's the fluid that the male produces, and it is a mixture of sperm and those other fluids that helps nourish or gives the sperm the ability to survive. So that's what semen is. So okay, it passes by the seminal vesicles, it gets its seminal fluid, gets its energy, then it passes by the prostate gland. It's still traveling through the vas deferens, but it's just passing by these glands that are just giving it these fluids so that it can survive. So it passed by the prostate gland, and the prostate gland will secrete fluid again, which will coat and nourish the sperm. So the fluid that is produced by the prostate gland coats the sperm. It's an alkaline fluid, it's basic. It coats the sperm to protect it from the acidic environment in the woman's reproduction tract. So, like, just in case our birth canal is acidic before you can get into the internal parts. So, when the sperm gets in, we don't want it to die before it fulfills its purpose. So, the prostate gland ensures that the sperm is coated and is going to be able to survive that, and also survive the acidic environment of its own urethra as well. So that's what it does, and also that fluid nourishes the sperm. Then after passing by the prostate gland, it will pass by the, let me try and say this word, the bulbourethral gland, or the Cowper's gland. That gland will produce fluid that is clear, that will lubricate the urethra and neutralize the acidity of the urethra before ejaculation. So this happens like while the male is engaging in sexual activity or sexual intercourse. So what happens is that when the body realizes that, okay, the man is now engaging in sexual activity and it's expecting that ejaculation is going to happen. So what happened is that while the sperm is waiting there for that time for ejaculation to occur and it comes out, the Cowper's gland, the male will produce this clear fluid that is a lubricant. So this lubricant helps to, since the male only uses one pathway to release the urine and to also release sperm at the same time. Unlike us females, we have our birth canal and we also have our clitoris. So our urine and our urethra is the pathway is throughout our clitoris, and then for things that are relating to birth, semen, and all of that, our birth canal is that area. So like there might be contamination and stuff, but at least for us there's two different pathways. But unlike for male, it's one pathway. The same urethra releases semen and also it releases urine. So what the Cowper's gland or the bulbourethral gland does is that it coats the urethra when it senses that the male's body is engaging in sexual activity. It coats the urethra with a basic lubricant, so to neutralize the acidity in the urethra. So when the sperm comes and pass through the urethra to make its exit, it is safe and the environment is good for it to pass through that. So the sperm's gonna pass by the Cowper's gland. It's already done its job. It has coated the urethra, and so what happens then? The sperm passes through the urethra. I already explained basically the purpose of the urethra. It just serves as a pathway for urine and semen to exit the male's body or exit through the penis. And then the penis, it just serves to deliver semen into the woman's female reproduction. And in order for it to be able to do that and for it to be able to deliver the semen into the female's body, it has to be erect. So the muscles have to be erect the muscles of the penis have to be erect for that to occur. So I hope that makes sense and it was clear to understand. So I'm just looking at the image. Everything starts at the testicles. The testicles make the sperm, and once the sperm is made, it goes to the epididymis to daycare. It stays there. It achieves its ability to swim or to be mobile. It grows. It gets its mature features, and then it's waiting for its time to go out into the world. Then the male engages in sexual intercourse. Then the ejaculation occurs. It flies out through the vas deferens, travels through the vas deferens, and once it starts traveling, it passes by the seminal vesicle. It gets food there. The seminal fluid gives it food, sugar-like fluid that gives it energy. It passes by the prostate. It gets a coat of basic fluid, shielding it from the acidity environment of its own urethra and the female acidic environment as well. It passed by the bulbourethral gland, which already prepared its pathway by lubricating the urethra with also alkaline fluid, and it's just swimming through all of that, and then it goes into the urethra, swims through the urethra, and exits the penis. And now, hopefully, fertilization occurs or whatever. So I hope that was easy to understand. So now we are going to look at spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is the production or development of sperm. So how it happens is you have these stem cells in the testicles. We're in the testicles now. Deep into the testicles, we have stem cells that are known as spermatogonia. These stem cells are diploid, meaning they have 46 chromosomes, 2N if you may say. So you can write 2N when you're writing your paragraphs or your answers. You can say 2N or say diploid, or you can say 46 chromosomes. So but make sure you do say that spermatogonia is still diploid. It's like diploid, just always mention that. So these stem cells are found in the outer layer of the seminiferous tubulus. This is just the layer of tissue that is inside the inside the testicles. So this spermatogonia is gonna undergo mitosis. So mitosis, there's no dividing of numbers, it's just, I need to do a video of mitosis, I'll do that. So it undergoes, there's not really a video to be done for mitosis. So for mitosis is just the cell would divide and make another copy of itself with the same genetic information. It's identical to its parent cell, has the same number of chromosomes. It's as if you're doing DNA replication, but here it's cells, body cells. So undergo mitosis, and it produces spermatogonia that is still diploid, and that spermatogonia is gonna grow and develop and mature and become primary spermatocytes. So these primary spermatocytes are still diploid. Primary spermatocytes, diploid, 46 chromosomes, 2N. They are now going to undergo the first division of meiosis. They undergo the first division of meiosis, and once they've underwent the first division of meiosis, they form secondary spermatocytes. Now, these secondary spermatocytes are haploid. They have 23 chromosomes, and they have half the number that they initially had. So you now have gotten secondary spermatocytes. These secondary spermatocytes will then undergo the second division of meiosis, forming spermatotids. These spermatotids are haploid and 23 chromosomes. And so basically in summary, one primary spermatocyte forms 4 spermatids at the end of the process. We have a diagram here. You can look at this diagram, draw it on your notebook, and add notes to it. So at each section, I always do that. I feel like that helps with absorbing information. You can do that, and you can be able to remember what happens. So now, after you have spermatotids are baby sperm cells. They are immature. They are babies. So these spermatids will undergo spermiogenesis. And spermiogenesis basically is when the sperm gets its mature features. It will now have the head, the neck, the tail, contain all the things that it needs for it to be able to fertilize an egg and form a baby. So this happens in the epididymis. No, actually, it starts happening in the testicles where it gets its features, and then in the epididymis, that's when the tail, like, it will fully get into its mature features, and the tail will form properly, be fully formed, and start being able to move. So hope that is clear. You can pause, look through the images, right? You can draw this. It's very easy to draw, like circles, 2N, N, and all of that. Write it exactly as you see it in this diagram, and then just add a little notes in between everything so that you can be able to remember everything. So now we are looking at the features, the mature features of a sperm. How does a spermatozoa, that is the name of mature sperm cell, spermatozoa, looks like? So the spermatozoa's body is broken into 3. We have the head, the mid piece, which is the body, and the end piece, which is the tail. So on the head, the head contains the nucleus. The nucleus contains 23 chromosomes that will later meet 23 chromosomes from the egg and fertilize and form 46 chromosomes, and that's going to be the zygote. And then we have the acrosome, which is in the head. The acrosome is the cap-like structure at the tip of the head, and it's like a cap, but it's in the shape of the head as well. So this acrosome contains enzymes. These enzymes will dissolve the membrane that is shielding the egg so that the sperm can penetrate the egg so that fertilization could occur. Then we have, before we get to the mid piece, we have the neck, and the neck has a centriola, which plays a role in the first cell division after fertilization. But we will talk about that once we have done the female reproduction. And then we have the midpiece. The midpiece contains the mitochondria, and we know the mitochondria provides energy, ATP, and this energy allows for the sperm to be able to swim. And then we have the end piece, which is the tail. The tail helps the sperm to be able to swim by moving or propelling the sperm by moving in a whip-like motion, and that's how the sperm is able to swim up into the female's reproduction tract. And then now we're going to just look at the hormone and specialized cells that are just involved in male reproduction. The male reproduction, we have testosterone, which is essential for the production of sperm, nourishing the sperm, and also giving the man its mature features. For example, we said deepening of the voice, growth of facial hair, pubic hair, body hair, increase in muscle mass and bone structure, bone size, and obviously it varies to every man, but that's what testosterone, it basically triggers puberty. And then we have Sertoli cells and Leydig cells, which are both found in the testes, and Sertoli cells help with nourishing the developing sperm. So once the sperm start going through all the mitosis and meiosis, Sertoli cells is just giving it food to keep growing as it's going through all of this development. And then we have Leydig cells that are inside the testes, that are the ones that are producing the testosterone. So the testosterone is being produced in the testes by the Leydig cells. Yeah, and that is all for today. I hope this video was very useful to you and it was easy to understand. You can slow it down, speed it up, pause and look at the diagrams. Just make sure you grasp everything. It's very important. But if you got into this part of the video, thank you so much for watching and listening, and I hope this was helpful to you. And if you're a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Please make sure you leave a comment on sections you would like me to go through in the future for things that maybe were not too clear for you to understand and you want me to explain deeper. I will gladly do that. And also share this to your fellow classmates, your friends. You're both preparing for the same test, you're both stressed out. Here is your help. Please subscribe if this is the first time you're watching this channel and seeing this video. Please subscribe, hit the notification button to get alerted every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for being part of the family, and good luck with your test and exam and your studies. Bye.